year with the purple and gold. Thompson said, quote, "He didn't have his best year last year, and he knows a lot of people are blaming him wrongly for the Lakers' failures. But I think Russ is going to come in with the right attitude to prove everybody wrong." Shannon, on a scale of 0 to 100%, how much can you see Russ being better for your Lakers next season?
Well, hell, he can't be worse, can he? I mean, so 0 to 100, I'm gonna go 0 to 5. That's what I think, Skip. He'll be better, because I think what's going to be the difference between this year and last year? Because a lot of times, Skip, as a former athlete, when things don't go right, be it team or I don't have the individual success that I thought I should have had, I would go back and look. Okay, was it something that I did in the offseason? What transpired during the season that caused me to not have the type of season that I thought? What caused the team to not have the type of season? Why wasn't I able to help the team win this or do this in this game? And so you self-reflect. What did Russ do, Frankie V? AD and LeBron didn't get me involved, wouldn't let me be Russ. So when you have that type of attitude, when you look at it and say, well, I didn't do anything wrong, I was just me, I couldn't be me, well, nothing's going to change. And I don't believe anything will change with Russ. I believe if you were to say, you know what, take the 25 best role players that accept their roles and do it to the best of their ability. If I put Russell Westbrook in there, most people say, well, if Russ would accept the role, he'd be the best role player there is. But he doesn't see himself as that. Even though he's the third option, he still sees himself as the number one option. He tries to play like he's the number one option. So I have zero confidence that Russell Westbrook is going to be any different this year than what he was last year. And the more the talk, he wanted to get up out of there. He parted ways with his longtime agent because he wanted to go to a different situation. They didn't want me. They blaming me, poll me. Bro, you didn't play well, and you're unwilling to accept that. Not one time did he say, well, I know I didn't play well. I know I can play better. I need to do this. He said all the right things to get to L.A., and then when he got to L.A., he reverted back to try to play the same way he had played his entire career, and that just doesn't work. Okay. And so I have zero confidence, zero faith that Russell Westbrook will change and anything will be different.
Okay, I hear what you just said. I've been around Mychal Thompson. I like him a lot. I love what he and his son have done together because he taught his son a lot. I'm talking about Clay.
Got another son playing with the Dodgers.
He does. He's pretty good.
Yep.
And Mychal does bleed purple and gold, played for the Lakers, and yet he's got great insight. And just because I do have a lot of respect for Mychal Thompson, I'm going to give this your milk chance, a 2% chance. And it's a life is strange chance.
Right.
Because life is strange. I mean, it's a you never know kind of a chance.
Right.
Long shot chance that he sees the errors of his ways and suddenly looks in the mirror and sees what's really in the mirror. Maybe a 2% chance. But where Mychal lost me with his comments, he says that Russ knows a lot of people are blaming him wrongly for the Lakers' failures. Well, that's delusional then. You're being blamed correctly for the Lakers' failure. If you know that you're being blamed correctly, then we got a 2% chance of you righting the errors of your ways, right?
It's almost like Mychal is like Russ. Oh, it wasn't my fault. I ain't do. Hey, look at 17, 5 and 5, or 18, 8 and 8. Those are good numbers.
Yep.
But that's not what they needed. They didn't need those turnovers. They didn't need that poor shooting percentage, Skip.
Okay. And then Mychal concludes, I think Russell Westbrook is going to fall in line. That's the operative phrase. Fall in line, come back, have a strong season. Russell Westbrook does not fall in line. He just doesn't.
He doesn't.
He was not born falling in line.
No.
He'll fall on your head if you don't watch it, but he won't fall in line behind you.
Yeah, I don't believe that's going to happen.
Okay, so what do I know about Russ? I think he works hard on his conditioning in the offseason. I don't think he works hard on his game because
I think that fashion thing is bigger, is more important to him than the basketball.
Okay, I would agree with that. Mychal also said that Russ has a lot of pride. Well, he has a lot of selfish pride, not selfless pride.
Correct.
Not a lot of team pride.
Right.
So he doesn't have a lot of pride that will manifest itself by working on your shot or your handle or what, getting in, as you say, the lab. You know, that's the kind of work that he needs to do with a shot doctor or some kind of a a skills coach.
Right.
You know, Russ likes to go to UCLA where he played, and they got a good run there in the afternoons, and a lot of the NBA guys show up randomly, and it's just whoever shows up runs.
Right.
And he loves to do that, but that's not getting in the lab. That's not where you just keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
And it's easier to do it in that environment because it's just open seat. You just run and shoot.
Well, do what you've always done. You'll get what you've always gotten.
Okay.
So he hasn't changed anything, so therefore nothing has changed about his game. But what he fails to realize, he's no longer in a situation where he's needed to be the number one option. So he has to change his thought process. He has to change the way he approaches the game of basketball. Skip, look, I've been the number one receiver. I go to Baltimore, they don't need a true number one receiver. They need a guy that's going to make plays. They need a guy that's more of a leadership guy. Okay, guys, we're not playing particularly well. Let's hold this thing together. Defense, y'all doing outstanding. Keep that work. We're going to get our thing. We'll get our stuff fixed. But Russ, all he sees is triple-double. Shot, let me get my 20-plus shots a night. That's not what they need. And if you don't understand that, and that's the problem with Russ. So many times, every coach that he's had in the NBA has made an excuse, has let Russ be Russ. And a lot of these analysts have let Russ be Russ. Do you know how hard it is to average a triple-double? I'm not saying it's easy. But what does that want him? All these triple-doubles, he got 5 of them. What does that want him? How close has it gotten him to winning a title? At what year did he get a triple-double? And you say, you know what? Russ and them going to contend for the title.
Yep.
Not once. So what is that about?
So back to your point, how much worse could he get? No worse. He was the worst.
Yeah.
He was the worst three-point shooter. He was the 4th worst free throw shooter after he used to be a pretty good free throw shooter. He led the league in turnovers turnovers per game until the last 3 when he sat.
Right.
He got passed by little Trey.
Yeah.
But the point is, how much? Surely you could get 2% better than that, right?
I would like to think so, but that's all I'm willing to give him. Not much better. Zero, but somewhere between 0 and 5% better.
Mychal is giving Darvin Ham a lot of the pre-credit for what's going to improve with Russ because he says Darvin Ham is highly respected and he's a stronger personality. He's going to come in and be the new sheriff, and that Russ will respond to that kind of coaching. I haven't seen it before.
Anytime, look, Skip, in the horse training business, anytime you have a horse that's stubborn, you bring a new trainer in there, he's still going to buck to begin with now. He's still, because that's his nature. That's his nature. Russ has always gotten what he's gotten, and when he didn't get what he wanted, he bucked. They acquiesced and gave him what he wanted.
True.
So now, because you saw what happened when Frankie V benched him in the 4th quarters, a couple of those games, he moped around, and what did Frankie do? Get back in there. So that's how this thing works.
Yep. So my grandmother Gladys used to tell me,
Had our name Gladys.
used to say, you can't get blood from a turnip.
No.
And I'd say, blood from a turnip? Well, literally, you can't.
Cannot.
Okay? So I don't like turnips, but there's no blood in them.
Right.
So the point is, Russ has got a lot of turnip. You're not going to get something from him.
Turnip and turnovers.
And turnovers is correct. He is what he's always been.
That's it.
And he's too set in his ways to mend his ways.
Yes.
To me, he is what he's not. And that's what you're going to have to live with. I think LeBron thought he could fix Russ.
Yes.
He's unfixable.
Right.
He's hard-headed. He's, as my mother used to say, bull-headed.
Yeah.
He's bull in China shop.
I think Mychal Thompson saying it because his son on Golden State, and as long as Russ stays in the Lakers, there are really no threat to them.
I would agree with that. You're right. But Mychal does love him some Lakers.
Yeah. I don't know if he loved the Lakers as much as he loved his son.
Well, in rootability, he roots hard.
Yeah, let's go, Lakers. All right, come on, Clay, get him.
Yeah. Okay. You're probably right.
I don't blame him.
I don't either.
I like your theory, Shannon.